Hello, this is David Stokes with DW Pro Lights inside Decorator's Warehouse in our lighting division showroom. And so what I would like to show you is how we apply cluster lights to a garland. So in a previous video, I actually just showed how we shaped a garland, an unlit garland, a 9x14 unlit garland. And now I've got some lights here. These are cluster lights. These are a 24.9 feet, so 25 foot cluster light strand. And I like to do a 2-to-1 ratio for the garland whenever I'm lighting with cluster lights. So for every foot of garland, I like 2 feet of cluster lights. And so we've got that here. It's actually a little bit better than a 2-to-1 ratio. So how do you do this? How do you attach lights to a garland? Well, it's really simple. You just lay out the garland. You can do it on a table, do it on the ground, do it wherever. You lay it out flat, go ahead and shape the unlit garland, and then start to attach the lights to it. And so I'll take the end of the cluster lights and I will apply it to the end of the garland. And so what I'll do is actually just take this and attach it to the end here. And so I'm just taking 2 needles, putting the light strand in between the 2 needles, and then I'll just cross over these needles, and they actually work like just a normal wire, essentially. And so I'll just take and just kind of twist those to where it attaches the cluster light into the garland. So I've got the end of the cluster light strand attached to that side of the garland. I'm going to actually find the beginning. So right here is the beginning, and I'm going to attach it to the end over here. So I'm going to take the beginning strand of the cluster lights and do the same thing by attaching it over here. And that way I've got the beginning strand of the cluster lights attached, the end of the cluster lights attached. And then, this is what I'll do. I'll actually grab and find the middle. So you may ask, how do I find the middle of a cluster light strand? Well, if you're doing a video, it's a little bit more difficult than if you're just doing this for yourself. But I can actually take, and I've got a straight line here, a straight line, and then I can actually run my hand through and find the middle of the cluster light strand. So right here, thereabouts is the middle. So I'll take the middle of my cluster lights and attach it to the middle of the garland. And so what this does is it reduces the amount of lights that I have to zigzag or snake through this garland before I realize, hey, I've got too many lights left over, or I'm too short on lights. And so essentially I've just halved my cluster light strand, and I'm going to put it for this half of the garland. And I also have a diagram that we hand out to customers in here, and also one that we'll have available online to show how to do this. So now I'm going to actually take and find the middle of this section and attach it to this garland here. So I'm really just quartering up the garland, and then now I'll come and zigzag the cluster lights in this garland. So what's cool about these cluster lights is that they last 50,000 hours. That's what they're rated for by the manufacturer. And they're LED lights. So what that means to you is that these lights are virtually indestructible. They last a super long time, and they take hardly any electricity. So those are 3 of the top ones for me. There's actually more than that. They actually have a really good color. They're a nice warm white. We also have these available in other colors. And so what I'm doing is I'm just zigzagging it back and forth. I'm not tying it off yet as far as within this section here, this quartered out section, but I'm just kind of just laying it in a zigzag pattern. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do this for the whole garland, and then I'll come about every foot or so and just kind of tie it off some more. That way the garland will always be ready, and I don't have to mess with these lights anymore. Even though these lights are super easy to put in, it's just a one-time deal. So you get the garland, it's unlit, you get the cluster lights, and then you can use this method to be able to put the lights on the garland, and then we'll tie it off every foot or so. And so I'll take and take 2 of these tips, twist them, and then there it is. So I like using the tips that are already on the Garland because it makes it really easy. They're nice and convenient, so I can tie these things off, and it's a no hassle, no problem kind of a method here. So that's what I've done here, is I'm just tying this off. And so I've got roughly this 4 to 5 foot section right here, really ready to go. And so I'll put this up on a doorway. I'll do it like on a fence outside. You can put it on a, on the inside, you can put it over a fireplace. You can do it on a staircase. And then after Christmas, the takedown is super easy. What you'll do, you'll just take and just flatten these tips. So you'll just make it to where the Garland is flat. So on the back side, it's already flat. And now on the top side, we're making it flat as well. And so then we'll take and actually just roll up the Garland into a ball. Just roll it up here. And that way, next season, all you have to do is just unroll it, do a quick little shape, and you're ready to go. So you're doing all the leg work, even though it's not too hard, right out of the gate. And then for seasons to come, it is super easy. You just unroll it, and then you put it on your fireplace or wherever, and you're ready to rock. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully that was a good help for you, and look for other videos that we'll have coming out. So thanks for joining in.